You must explain why Tinubu's legal team Watermark is on the CTC copies. Atiku camp questions PEPC. Welcome to the news and thank you for tuning in to listen. Please subscribe to our channel. To get notified when we post hot juicy news updates, please click on the notification bell. The camp of the People's Democratic Party (PDP) presidential candidate, former Vice President Atiku Abubakar, has demanded explanations from the Presidential Election Petition Court (PEPC) on why certified true copies of a judgment bears the header of the Bola Tinubu presidential legal team. Nigerians recalls there had been insinuation that a tribunal ruling was compromised in favor of President Bola Tinubu due to the Tinubu presidential legal team watermarks found on the copies in circulation on social media. However, the coordinator of the Tinubu presidential legal team, Babatunde Ogala San, in a statement on Saturday debunked such insinuations. According to him, the judgment was not compromised and the watermarks were only applied by the team after they got the copies of the consolidated judgment from the Court of Appeal. Ogala explained further that the lawyers for the People Democratic Party were present at the registry when they picked up the clean copies of the tribunal ruling, adding that the People Democratic Party lawyers were even the first to pick copies of the judgment from the court registry. In a statement to Niger News, the Special Assistant on Communications to Atiku, Frank Shaibu, stated that it is very important that the PEPC should tell Nigerians why they chose to fix the header of the respondents of the CTC certified true copy of their judgment, whereas the copies that went to the petitioners did not have the same. Was that because the Tinubu legal team is deemed to be accorded special privileges? The court must explain, he said. Shaibu also questioned why the PEPC came to the decision to avail the respondent, especially the Tinubu legal team, to have a first receipt of the CTC of the judgment before the plaintiffs. His statement reads, and I quote, "The curiosity is more confounding based on the fact that the lead counsel to Atiku and the People Democratic Party had pleaded in the open court to have express receipt of the judgment, to which Justice Haruna Samani agreed to and promised to make the documents available the following day, which was Thursday. Nigerians want to know why the PEPC confers special privileges to the Tinubu legal team by making them have a first custody of copies of the PEPC judgment, even though it was more urgent for the petitioners who needed the document in order to cause an appeal to the Supreme Court within 14 days, including weekends. In the course of delivering its judgment, the PEPC had spoken of the petition it was ruling upon in a vexatious and denigrating language, as if it was a crime to bring a case of electoral banditry before the court. However, unfolding development after the court ruling elicits suspicions about whether or not the Tinubu legal team provided clerical services to the PEPC. Otherwise, how and when did the Tinubu presidential legal team creep into a document that was supposed to be the official document of the Court of Appeal of Nigeria? We need to restate that the Tinubu presidential legal team on the top left corner of the 798 pages is neither a monochrome nor a metadata. It is actually a header, meaning that except for a valid explanation, the Tinubu presidential legal team is the originator of the document. For the purposes of clarity, a header is text that is placed at the top of a page, while a footer is placed at the bottom of a page. Typically, these areas are used for inserting information such as the name of a document, the chapter heading, page numbers, creation date, and the likes. On the other hand, watermark is a faint design made in some paper during manufacture that is visible when held against the light and typically identifies the maker of a document. The PEPC must, on its honor, if indeed it still has any, clarify why the court chose to put the header of the Tinubu legal team on the CTC copy of its judgment, while the only emblem that should have been on the document is the stamp of the Court of Appeal of Nigeria. Again, the PEPC must explain why it came to the discretionary decision of having the respondent have a custody of the judgment earlier in the day on Friday, while making same available to the petitioners later in the day, and only after the lead counsel to Atiku and the People Democratic Party had written a second letter. The first was on Thursday, too, the court demanding for copies of the judgment. Moreover, we have it on good authority that when the PEPC was informed that the CTC copies of judgment given to the respondents was already circulating in the public domain, where the head of the TPLT on it, a further delay was necessitated by the need for it to undertake a laundry of documents by removing the Tinubu presidential legal team header before handing over the same to lawyers of Atiku. Whereas the legal team of the People Democratic Party and Atiku have statutory 14 days to prepare its appeal to the Supreme Court, the PEPC had erased 2 days out of that 14 days. No thanks to the PEPC, whose chairman, Justice Samani, had promised to make available the CTC copy of a judgment to Atiku a day after his judgment was rendered, which ought to have been on Thursday. Atiku said noted that Nigerians on the world are honestly waiting for the answers to these poses as the legal challenge shifts to the Supreme Court. He said if explanations are not given, it will validate suspicion that there were external factors involved in the formulation of a judgment and bring the entire judiciary of Nigeria into disrepute. Shuaibu said, and I quote, "Make no mistake about it, this legal challenge to the electoral banditry of February 25th, which has now shifted to the apex court, is not about Atiku. It is indeed our last-ditch efforts to salvage our country and deepen our democracy." Against the background of a decimation of nearly all the institutions of state, including the Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, which dragged us into the quagmire, our intent is to ensure that the judiciary, the last hope of a common man, does not go to the dogs. You go explain, Taya, you know, go see evidence. For clarity now, they are saying they have Tinubu's team watermark on the document that is supposed to only have the Court of Appeal. Do you know what it means? Oh, these people just carry us, they play. They tell you. Criminals are in haste forgetting to clean their mess. What mess? You're being scammed every single day by nonsense and you're falling for it. What a shame. What do you mean scam every new day? Do you know what this thing means? Do you know how what's it called? How huge this is? If not for abroad, though, that case, then go revisit them all. I did tell you. Then go revisit them. They deserve no explanation. They are gradually going mad. Not be small. Not be small going mad. There might be the madness will certainly consume Nigeria sooner than later. Really? Rubbish, face the prep for SC and stop all the social media run that affected you in the past. My own be say, if not for same country, then go explain that no evidence. Then go begin to confess. Talk with him, be say, then do. Both the one way then do and way they no do. Then go confess and finish because it is not supposed, this thing not even supposed to be at all. Alright, on this note, you have come to the end of the news. We say thank you for tuning in to listen. Until I come your way next time, enjoy the rest of your day.